Perfect. And good morning, everybody. My thought for you that I've been playing with this week, because my birthday was on Tuesday, is I've been sitting with the importance of birthdays in general, and realizing that we correlate our life a lot to what we think we're going to accomplish in it, right? What we think we're going to do. And we don't always bring ourselves back to the understanding that there's an innate wisdom in you that is built in, right? And that built-in wisdom is not about you being able to accomplish specific things. That's how we often describe, right, your destiny or what you were born to be or what you were born to do, is we think of it in that trajectory of what are you going to do in the world instead of what are you here to be, right? What's the influence that you're going to have on the collective humanity that you're a part of? And that has nothing to do with, or very little to do with, what actual activities you engage in. So this concept that you were born, right, with an understanding already inside of what you are here to be, right? And so every birthday is an auspicious day, right? Your birthday was an auspicious day. Even if you don't think of yourself as being an important influence on the world, you're a necessary influence on the world. So can you have this kind of respect for what it is that you are, right? The influence that you have on the collective humanity, instead of looking at your life or yourself based on what you think you have accomplished, right? And so we describe this, it said that we actually have a chakra, part of the chakra system, that is the guru, the inner guru. And that inner guru is born in every single one of us. It is yours, it's unique to you, right? But it's the seat where there is that instinctual and intuitive and built-in wisdom of your soul that knows exactly what you are here to be, and that will continue to unfold however you choose to take action in your life. It will unfold through that, right? But if we don't know it ourselves, then we get confused, or we start to think that, the sum of our life is only what we were able to do. So the practice is to become aware of and have that respect, deep respect, for the auspiciousness of your own life, right? So comfortable seat if you're not there already. Let the eyes close. And as you're finding your breath, as you're finding your seat, start to bring the awareness to the space between the eyebrows, and not the surface of the forehead between the eyebrows, but set your attention a little deeper back, as though you're trying to settle it right in the middle of your brain, right in the middle of your head. Point of the third eye. And then imagine that just above that, there is another point, another little point of light that is just above that. And they're connected to each other, right? Like moons around a planet, they're connected to each other. So as you're breathing, breathe your breath from the space of the third eye up to that second point, and then bring it back down to the third eye. So you're inhaling up to that second point, and the exhale brings it back down to the space between the eyebrows. And so that second point is the Guru chakra. It's said to be basically a part of the third eye chakra system. So this is the inner guru, and the guru is not, we say it's a teacher, but it's not about learning something that you don't know. Right? The real presence of the guru is being a place where there's just an intense and unfiltered love. And when we're in that place that is unfiltered love or unfiltered respect, then whatever we need to know to accomplish what's in front of us, it becomes known. You don't have to know it ahead of time. So breathe into that spot just above the third eye. An acknowledgement of your innate guru. And that you can tap that point whenever you need it. Is any, take a deep breath in, everybody. And then as you exhale, bring the hands together at the heart. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Just real quick, is anybody else's audio doing something strange? You can all hear me all right? Yeah? Okay. So Lynn and Tom, if your audio is breaking up, you might have to come off and come back on, because I don't think it's on my end, but thanks for the heads up. If anything goes weird, just let me know. Okay. All right. Come forward onto hands and knees, please. Good. Begin to cat and cow. Nice, you guys. Good. I feel like the little, glitches with things is usually when you would complain to me about the temperature in the room before we start. So there's always something you want me to fix. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Stretch your right arm out wide to the right, and then slide that arm behind your left wrist. Right shoulder finds the floor. Thread the needle. Good. Walking the left arm forward towards straight. Press into your shins. Nice. And then a little bend to that left elbow, the arm extended overhead. So the little bend in the elbow means that you can press into that hand a little more. You can open your rib cage a little bit more. Good. And then you can really press into your shins, lift through your low belly. So get your sacrum to feel nice and full. Breathe into your ribs. Good. And then release and come all the way back up to hands and knees and go to the other side. Take your left arm out wide to the left. Slide behind your right wrist. Left shoulder finds the floor. Then walking the right arm forward towards straight. And again, the further it comes towards the top of your head or the middle of your mat, the more you're going to get twist in your spine. Good. Make sure your hips are staying nice and level with the floor. So you're actually dragging the top of your right hip back. Good. And then give a little bend to your right elbow. Good. So you can actually press into the fingers a little bit more and maybe open the ribs a little bit more, still pulling that right thigh and that right hip crease back and in. Good. And then low belly draws in, expand through your lower back. Nice. And then bring yourself all the way back up to hands and knees. Good. Do a little circling of your hips. Nice. Do a lot of practice of undoing whatever the circumstances of your life have been. That's really what a lot of yoga is undoing what you are sure is normal because it's what you've been doing for so long. Move your hips the other way. So that especially includes the way that you look at your own life and the way that you think about yourself. The auspiciousness of your birth was not so much about what you are going to accomplish. It's just that the way that you are in the world is unique. The influence that you have is one that only you can have. So don't downplay it. Don't discount it. Come back to stillness, please. Spread the fingers wide. Round your back again like you're in cat. So pull up through the back of your rib cage. Good. As you're pulling up, again, draw the shoulders wide away from your ears. So you're still rounded, but pull back so that you don't have that hunched shoulder experience. And then lift the lowest part of your belly. Lift your hip points up. You're still rounding. I want you to just pull your top of your pelvis away from your thighs. Good. And then stay like that. Tuck your toes and lift your hips and come back to downward facing dog. Yeah, so stay lifted through that low place of your belly. Draw your hips back in space. Good. And then lift the back of your throat, the back of your heart up to extend the front of your spine or to extend the top of your back. Good. And feel wideness there. Draw the shoulder blades towards the hips. Nice. And then step the right foot forward between the hands, lunge. Good. Drop the back heel, baby toe parallels the back of your mat. Take both hands to the inside of the front foot. Good. Walk to your left just a little bit until you start to feel resistance. Widen that right knee. So keep drawing it towards the second toe of the front foot. Good. Towards the baby toe edge. Push that inner thigh wide. Nice. Good. You guys scoop the low belly just a little bit more. So Maria, your legs are in warrior 2 in this position. So your back knee is up and your foot is flat. Yeah. So your legs are in warrior 2, but your hands are on the ground. Yep. And then walk your hands to your left just a little bit. That's it. Good, you guys. Walk yourself back towards the top of your mat. Keep your back heel flat. Take your right arm right inside that front shin, and then take your left arm up to the sky. So it's like you're doing a modified side angle. Good. So you're pressing the forearm up against the shin and use the arm as a way to feel the squeezing in of your shin. So hug that shin in. Beautiful. And then lift rib cage opens more. Nice. And then release both hands down to the floor, please. Spin your back heel up. Good. Drop the back knee and then walk your hands to the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Good. Separate the hands a little wider. Come up on your fingertips and cat-cow your spine. Good. I'm practicing letting go the narrow definitions that we have for what we think our life is supposed to be about, or what it should be about, or what it has been about. And somehow it has not stayed for most of us, that instinct to have respect for whatever you do in your life. Many of us don't have that. Our mind says something different about the experiences that we have. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Just let yourself drop down for a moment, maybe to your elbows, or maybe just dropping the chest still on fingertips. Good. And then walk yourself back up. Nice job. Lift your back knee. And then step your left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight Parsvottanasana. Use blocks if you need them. Good. Make sure your feet are as wide as your hips. So stepping them right and left a little bit more might give you a little bit more space. Good. Nice, you guys. And you're pressing into the feet and scooping through the low space of your belly. Press your sacrum up towards the sky. Good. And squeeze the feet towards each other. So the more you activate through the legs, again, conscious, not clenching, but engaging, then when you release, it makes the release more relaxing, I guess it is. It makes it more complete. So how we free the body is not just by stretching. The undoing of our habits or the undoing of our perspective is consciously engaging with it, so that when we move our attention somewhere else, is we're actually releasing things in a balanced way instead of just I'm done with that, I forgot about it way. So engage the legs in this position. And then as you release, it's a release in a balanced way of bend your front knee, go ahead, step back to downward facing dog, right? You're releasing so that you're able to move into the next moment. Again, without forgetting about the previous one, but without hanging on to what that was, because now you're here. Bend your knees a lot. Yeah, pull your hips back in space. Scoop into that low space of your belly again, so you're lifting your hip points away from your thighs. And then pull back even more through your hips. Good. Nice, you guys. And then take the hips back up to the sky. Let your heels move towards the floor, downward facing dog. Don't let your pelvis collapse into that arch. Good. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Nice. Drop the back heel. Baby toe parallels back of your mat. Take both hands inside the front foot. Walk to your right just a little bit until you start to feel resistance. So again, your legs are in warrior two. And you're walking your hands towards the right, but keeping your front knee pointing straight ahead. So again, the idea here is that you are widening the inner thigh and the belly away from each other. So as you walk your torso to the right, your knee is drawing the opposite way towards the left. So we're freeing up space in the hip and stretching outer hip, thigh, glute. Good. Nice, you guys. Everything you do, deep respect, because the wisdom of these positions is not that it's going to fix you, but it's going to free up space for you to be what you are always meant to be. Good, you guys. Walk your hands back towards the top of your mat. Don't change the legs. Left forearm comes inside the left shin. Right arm comes to the sky. Good. So you're pressing the forearm out against the shin and you're squeezing the shin in towards the forearm. So keep a deep bend in that front knee. Good. And then you're reaching through your right arm. So the arm's not just in the air for no reason, right? It's there so that you open, you rotate the shoulders, you rotate the waist and pull up. Good. And then release that hand down to the floor. Nice job. Spin your back heel up, drop the back knee, walk your hands towards the upper right-hand corner of your mat. Come onto your fingertips, separate the hands a little wider, and then start to cat-cow your spine. Good. So the arms are nice and wide, elbows are soft. Moving the spine. Good, you guys. Earlier this week, I was using the story of the Buddha's birth to go along with this concept that, right, what you think you are or what you think you're supposed to be, if we stay narrow, it means that we miss the opportunities, all of the other opportunities that are there. So in the story of the Buddha's birth, he was born a prince. And at his birth, the fortune teller said that he had the potential to either be a great king or a great spiritual leader. And so his father, the king, of course, was like, well, I need him to be a great king. I need him to follow in my footsteps and continue my legacy, my dynasty, take over the kingdom. Come to stillness, please. Drop down to your forearms if you'd like, or stay on fingertips and just soften your heart. And so his father does everything that he can to shelter him from the realities of the outside world, because he doesn't want him to be at all drawn towards humanity. He doesn't want him to be drawn towards anything that might convince him to be other than just a king. Just follow in the footsteps put in front of you. Of course, it backfires, and despite all of his attempts, the Buddha experiences humanity, and that's what calls him, right? He experiences sickness and death and suffering. That's what calls him to become a spiritual leader. And so if we stay narrow, we think that there's only one way to live our life, one way to be who we are. We miss that chance that you could be called at any moment to be something else, something more. Walk yourself back in. Good. Lift your back knee up and step your right foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. Use blocks under the hands if you need. And again, pressing into the legs here. The more you press down into your heels and really draw the feet towards each other, so you're squeezing them towards each other like they've got a rubber band around the ankles. And then you're drawing the low belly in and sending your low back up towards the sky. The more that you do that, again, you're decompressing the whole area by engaging muscularly. So this is what helps to actually free up muscle tightness or things that have gotten stuck in a place that's not ideal. And by doing that, we rearrange the structure a little bit, and this is what releases nerve stuff. So if your back is cranky, you want to engage the legs. Don't hide from it. Good. Again, conscious engagement followed by conscious release is what we really call learning in yoga, or unlearning, because you're moving out of a pattern that was habitual into one that's conscious. One more breath. Really send your outer right hip spinning forward. Press into your feet. Good. And then bend your left knee. Step back to downward facing dog. Nice. And then slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Good. Take your right knee down to the floor underneath your right hip. And then lift your left leg up parallel to the floor. Good. Walk your right arm forward. Take a balance. Again, using the hand and the knee that are on the floor, not to sink into, but to push away from the floor. So draw up through your low rib cage, almost like you're doing that cat position again. Draw up through your low belly. Good. So you're lifting the back body up towards the sky. Good. And then bend your left knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. Good. Reach back, right hand for the foot or the ankle. Good. And if reaching for the foot or the ankle doesn't feel like a great idea, you can keep the hand behind your head or hand at your low back. Nice. Then try and undo that little twist in your spine. So bring your shoulders to face forward. There you go, Diane. Nice. And draw that heel towards the middle or slightly wide towards the outside edge of your left butt cheek. One more breath. Heart lifts higher. Good. Very good, Andy. Nice, Susan. Nice, Sue. And then slowly release, extend all the way out. Beautiful. And then release back to hands and knees. Good. Second side, take your right leg up and back behind you. Walk your left arm forward. Take your balance. And again, remembering that you are pressing down through that right hand and that left shin with the intention of pulling yourself away from the floor. So your ribs are drawing in, your low belly is drawing in, the whole back of the body is rising up. Good. Nice. Breath is still moving. Beautiful, you guys. Bend the right knee, take your heel in towards your butt, reach back for the foot or the ankle, and then be conscious of, if you had to twist in order to get yourself into that position, is now you have to untwist. So you've got to draw that left shoulder more forward. Good. And that knee, if it wants to swing wide, you actually have to keep it right in line with the hip, but you're drawing the heel slightly towards the outer edge of your right butt cheek. Good. Keep pressing into the hand and the shin. Lift up more. Heart higher. Yeah, nice, Lisa. Good, good, good. And then extend all the way back out. Really nice, you guys. And then come back, left hand to the floor. Keep your right leg extended. Drop the toes to the floor. And then step the left foot back to plank. So both feet back, plank pose. Yep. Look towards your belly button for a moment. So you get your ribs nice and lifted. You send your inner thighs a little higher. Squeeze your hands and your feet towards each other. Good. And then just lift the back of your throat up in line with the back of your heart and drag your collarbones forward. Nice, you guys. Lower down slow, coming to the belly. Beautiful. Rise up, cobra. Lift head, neck, and chest. Pressing the feet into the floor. Awesome. And then come back downward facing dog. Good, you guys. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Lunge. Good. Drop the back heel to 45 degrees. Warrior one. If you need to step that foot wider to the left, go ahead and do it. And then inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. So sending that outer left hip spinning forward. Take your arms out wide, cactus arms. Take a little twist towards your right, so towards the front leg. Mostly because I just want you to have that sensation of, as you twist, that's going to convince you to bring that outer left hip forward more, because it's the only way that you can keep moving your rib cage wider. So it kind of tricks you into getting into the right pelvic position. And now maintain that and just bring your ribs facing forward again. Good. Nice, you guys. And then take your arms up alongside your ears, bow forward. Good. So torso parallels the floor. Don't take your weight out of that back heel, right? Press back, send your inner thigh back, weight into that back foot. Good. Now you're still leaning forward. Stretch your arms straight back behind you. Good. Palms facing each other. Nice. And then lift a little higher, like you're going to take your pinky fingers up to the sky. and hug those forearms towards each other. Keep squeezing the arms, but lifting your chest. Good. So nice. The arm bones roll up, but you're squeezing and lengthening. So pull back. Nice, Harriet. Awesome, you guys. And then release the hands down to the floor. Beautiful. Spin your back heel up, lengthen into a lunge. So take your back leg a little further back, or your back foot a little further back. And then both hands inside the front foot, please. Good. Take that right shoulder inside the right knee. Slide your hand behind the heel to the baby toe edge of your foot. So you're wrapping the forearm around the calf. Good. And then just take the chest forward as you drag back on that front heel. So pull your hips back in space. Lift your chest forward and up. Good. And then scooping into the low belly, scoop that right sit bone. Good. So engage that right glute so you can actually take your hips a little lower and lift your chest a little higher. That's it. And then deep breath in. Maybe stretch your arms out wide to airplane arms. Keep the right arm underneath the right leg. Good. So don't lift that left arm so high, Harriet. Keep your ribs really parallel to the floor. There you go. Good, you guys. And then slowly unwind, please. Good. Unwind that hand. Step your left foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. Good. Again, squeezing the feet towards each other. Beautiful. Whatever you were born to be, the influence you were born to have on the world, there's not only one path to it. And everything that has been in your life so far has been part of that destiny. It's been part of revealing or bringing you to an understanding of what you are here to be, the influence that you have, that you are. Good, you guys. Bend your knee just a little bit, front knee. Walk your fingertips forward, step up, standing split, left thigh parallels the floor. Make sure your hands are able to touch something, so either the floor or blocks. And then in standing split, again, your hips are paralleling the floor. So Maria, make sure that right hip is spinning down. That's it. Flex your foot a lot. Good. And then bend your standing knee so your right knee bends. Good. Nice, you guys. And then as that knee bends, again, you're pushing the inner knee slightly wide. You're pushing your right butt cheek slightly wide. And then move your left inner thigh wider to the left. So really pull wide through your hips. Good. And then belly is scoop. Send your butt to the sky, straight in that standing leg again. Drop your chest. Beautiful. Nice, you guys. And then go ahead and step all the way back to lunge, please. Plant the hands. Take your right leg up and back behind you to down dog split. Good. And then bring that knee forward and wide for pigeon. Nice. The knee is wider than the hip point. And then you're on, if you are doing pigeon the traditional way, so you're up on the knee of the back leg so that your hips are not falling to the side. You got it. Good. Press into that front shin. Again, stay very active, and then start to walk yourself forward. Find your forward fold, resting on the forearms, elbows, blocks, whatever you need. So the Buddha and the story of his life, and of course it's the metaphor for the teachings that he gave, but he goes from the extravagance of being a prince where every privilege and every possibility of trying to protect yourself from the experiences of the world was at his fingertips, as he goes completely the other direction. He becomes an ascetic. He gives up everything. It's funny, our conversation before class about classes where you're not allowed to stop to drink water, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. You have to stay in the flow, stay in the practice. And that's what he did, was to practice depriving himself of any kind of comfort thinking that that was going to awaken some spiritual reality or get him to a place of understanding. And so he does that until it almost kills him. Didn't enlighten him. Just made him very uncomfortable. And so it's after that experience where he's gone from one extreme to the other that he says, you know what, I'm just going to sit and I'm just going to meditate until I figure this out. And while he's sitting and meditating, right, sitting and not trying to be anything or do anything is when the realization happens. And in that realization, of course, as the Buddha always said, that he had no intention of teaching. He had his own realization, and students came to him and said, can you share what it is that has allowed you to be what you are? And he said, oh, okay, sure. So it's not about what you do with your life, it's the presence that you have. And that draws different aspects of your life, different aspects of humanity to you. I know you've been in Pigeon for a while. You'll survive. Don't get up for water. Don't get up to pee. Stay. Just one more breath. Good. And then slowly walk yourself back up, please. Sit towards that right hip. Swing your left leg around in front of you so you can stack your left knee on top of your right, Gomukhasana. So the knees stack and the feet go wide. Good. If that position is not available, and you could do this on your back if you were doing Pigeon on your back. So knees all the way crossed on top, Susan. Yeah. Yep. Left knee on top of right, sitting between the feet. You got it. Good. And if that position doesn't work, then you can sit with your left shin in front of your right. So Lisa, cross the knees all the way on top of each other, not fire log. Knees all the way stacked on top. All the way on top. Okay. You can see me. This way, all the way over and wide. Yeah? Okay. These like little flashcards. If I don't have a model. Good. If you can fold forward here, go for it. If not, stay where you are. Good. So there's left knee on top of right, Mark, all the way over. There you go. Yep. Good. Deep breath in, again, widening through the lower back. Good. Finding a place where you are in the pose, not trying to accomplish anything, but just letting the pose free up space where it does so that you can be more clear on the presence that you are, the presence that you have. That's all the purpose of the asana is so that the body is free to experience who you really are without being distracted by being in pain. Walk yourself back up, please. Good. Unwind your legs, come back to hands and knees. Come back to downward facing dog. If you just wanted to stay in that pose forever, I understand. Sometimes that's one of the poses that just feels really, really good. Good. And for some people, they're like, no, that pose feels terrible. You're both right. Pose feels how it feels. Good. Left foot steps forward between the hands, please. Back heel comes to 45 degrees. Warrior one, believe it or not, that's how we started this whole thing. Arms up to the sky. Good. So ribs facing straight ahead, arms alongside the ears. Good. Right foot is a little wider to the right. There you go. Nice. Then take your arms out wide to cactus arms. Nice, Victoria. Take a little twist to your left. So again, that's to encourage you to move that outer right hip, spin it forward. And as the hip spins forward, because the ribs are going wide, you maintain that, squeeze your feet towards each other. And then just bring your ribs back to center. Nice. Arms up to the sky. Good. Maybe bring that front thigh a little deeper into the lunge. Good. Sue S. Really keep spinning that outer right hip forward. Maybe even step your right foot wider to the right to make that more possible. Good. And then lean forward, torso parallels the floor. Stretch your arms back behind you. Good. So pinky fingers are going to be up towards the ceiling, thumbs down. Squeeze the arms and then lift a little higher. So you're pulling those pinky fingers up towards the sky, but you're squeezing the forearms in, and then keep lifting your chest. So the arm bones are lifting up. Good, Diane. Nice, Laura. Beautiful. Keep squeezing and extending. Good. And then go ahead and release the hands down to the floor, please. Nice. Lift that back knee. Lengthen your lunge. So slide that right leg back a little bit more. Both hands inside the front foot. Left shoulder right inside the left knee. Slide your hand behind the heel so you come to the baby toe edge of your foot. Good. And then you're leaning forward, pushing forward through the arms and dragging back with your hips. So pull your hips back in space. Press through that front heel. Again, the more you engage the legs, you engage the lower body consciously, then when you release, it's going to release more than what you thought you were releasing. All right, you're not just releasing the pose, you're releasing whatever was being held unconsciously as well. Good. So one more breath here. Take the arms wide if you'd like, coming into airplane arms. Keep the left arm underneath your knee if you're doing that though. So you got to really find your balance. You got to use your left glute. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor. Unwind the arms. Nice. Step your right foot forward just a little bit. Take both legs to straight. Parsvottanasana. Beautiful. I think it's very funny to look at the way that we have learned to describe the process of uncovering ourselves. And we say a lot of things like, be the best version of you that you can be, and do this and do that. And all of that is wonderful. And maybe it gets us to where we want to be. Maybe it also feels like there's just an impossible amount of doing involved in that, because who knows the best version of yourself, the way your mind thinks that you should be, or the best version of you that's really true. That's why we're asked to practice meditation, is to actually feel the presence that you are without the mind telling you, without the mind defining it. One more breath here. And then bend that left knee, walk your fingertips forward, step up to standing split. Make sure your hands are touching something, floor or blocks. Good. And then bend your standing knee. So left knee bends. And then you're pushing wide. So the inner knee is pushing wide. If your butt cheek or your hip is starting to rotate forward, you're pulling that back. Good. And then you're sending your right inner thigh wide as well. So you're pulling wide with both hips. Good. And then your low belly scoops up just a little more. Nice. Now start to straighten that left leg, your standing leg, by pressing through the heel and pulling up. Good. So it might even feel like it's actually impossible for you to lock your knee. You can't just push into the joint because you're still lifting. Beautiful, you guys. Nice job. And then step it all the way back. Nice long lunge. Plant the hands. Take your left leg up and back, down dog split. Good. And then bring that knee forward and wide for pigeon. And making sure that your front knee is wide and is wider than your front hip point. So you're moving the knee towards the left edge, outer edge of your mat. Good. And then sending that outer right hip spinning forward. Beautiful. Good. Really engage the front shin as you start to walk yourself into your forward fold, whatever that looks like. Again, elbows, blocks, whatever you need. Good. And let your breath stay in a place that is not narrowly defined by just the sensations of the pose. Feel everything that you feel. Then also feel the space around it. Then also notice what is the presence that you have while in this pose. So if someone who had a little meter that could register what your mood was or what your attitude was in this moment walked into your space, what would their little meter say? Would it say peaceful? Would it say annoyed? Would it say anxious? What would it say? If we continue to narrowly define ourselves by what we do or what we don't do, and we keep saying to ourselves, well, just be the best version of yourself you can be, having no idea what the possibilities are, we stay stuck. That's why the Buddha's teachings say that there's a middle place, which is neither extreme in either direction. So it's without that sense of definition. And it's those moments where you let yourself actually just fall into your innate experience, right? The presence that you are, that's your destiny. That's what enlightens you. And the joke, if it is a joke, is that when you get to that point, is that you're not upset about anything that comes into your life. You no longer have an opinion about what you do or what you don't do. You simply are living. And you can enjoy that and respect that. Your destiny foretold at your birth is still ingrained in you. The presence that you are is ingrained in you. But if we don't ever reach for it, or we don't give it space to expand, to grow, if we don't let ourselves be in that attitude of deep respect, unfiltered love, then we chase that experience and we think that it's going to be found by doing the right thing. So instead of chasing, just like the Buddha, can you stop and sit and breathe into what you've already got? Even in this pigeon pose that's gone on forever. Good. Slowly walk yourself back up, please. And sit towards that left hip. And all you're doing here, you guys, is you're swinging that right leg around so that you can put your right knee on top of your left knee. That's it. So the leg comes all the way around and put your right knee on top of your left knee. There you go. Good. Gomukhasana. You got it. And then again, if you can fold forward here, go ahead. If it feels better to stay upright, stay upright. Make sure your feet are flexed. Breathe into the wideness of your lower back. Good. The day you were born was an important day. Because the way that you impact your influence on humanity is one that is unique. And it will continue to unfold in whatever types of activities and actions that you are drawn to, that you choose. But the presence that you are, yoga says it's really inescapable. So you can either embrace it or you can deny it, but it's there just the same. And when you're not looking, it leaks out. So meditate, stop looking, and let it leak out more. Walk yourself back up, please. Good. Unwind your legs, please. Bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees wide, Baddha Konasana. Good. And a little longer Baddha Konasana than is your usual. So move your feet a little further away. Scoot your butt back a little more. Good. And then let yourself fold forward. maybe a little bit more relaxed. Nice. You can hold the feet or not, your choice, but relax your shoulders. So if you're holding your feet, don't hunch your shoulders. That's my rule. I won't yell at you for drinking water, but I will yell at you for hunching your shoulders. Good. Then slowly walk yourself back up, please. Pull your heels a little closer in. So again, not your most extreme Baddha Konasana, but bring them in a little closer. Good. And then same thing, send your inner thighs back, send your sit bones back, and then fold forward. Nice. So we're trying to find that same sense of ease, right? When the pose is not difficult, or we don't feel like it's pushing against our physical edges very much, we have a certain relaxation as we go into it and as we come out of it. So can you keep that same easefulness as you start to draw the heels further and further in? So every time you come back to the position, it doesn't matter if it's a little bit more intense. Can you keep that sense of ease? Good. Walk yourself back up. And then pull the heels in a little closer. Nice. Wiggle your sit bones back if you need to. Again, at any point, if you need to put a blanket underneath your seat, do that. And then fold forward. Same sense of ease, even if the sensation of the position feels a little bit more intense. And keep the feet pushing into the ground. Don't hunch your shoulders, so get wide. Good, Susan W. Good. And then slowly release, walk yourself all the way back up. Nice, you guys. Stretch your right leg straight out in front of you. Good. Left foot into the right thigh, knee wide. Janu Shirshasana. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Little twist of your belly to the right, and then bow over the extended leg. Good. Again, turning from the lowest place of your trunk. That's what makes the difference here, the significant difference. Turn from the low place of your waist. Beautiful. And then bringing both hands to the inside of the front foot. So your right forearm comes inside that right shin. Left hand comes to your left hip. Turn your rib cage open to the left. Good. And then take, you can either keep the hand at your hip here if it feels good, or take the left arm up to the sky or over the ear. Side body stretch. Good. Nice, Suzanne. Good. Really reach through those fingertips, Andy, so the elbow gets a little bit straighter. That's it. Good, Sue. You do. Beautiful. Come all the way back up. Nice, you guys. And then switch the legs. Take the left leg straight forward. Good. Bend your right knee. Bring the bottom of the foot to the inside of the left leg. Let your knee go wide. And take the arms back up to the sky. Little twist to your left. And then bow over the extended leg. Good. Again, it's from the low place of your waist that you are moving into that twist. So the top of the right hip, again, is almost spinning forward more. Good. So that means your right shoulder is going to fold, not fold forward, but it's going to soften forward. So the left rib cage can lift wider. Good. Nice, you guys. Both hands come inside the front leg. Left forearm drops to the floor if you can. So again, that forearm is up against the shin. Right hand comes to your right hip. Turn your rib cage open to the right. And then again, you can stay here or take the right arm over the ear or up to the sky. Good. So just take that shoulder open a little bit more, Mark. There you go. Yep. And then draw your throat back. Yes, sir. You got it. Good. Lisa, watch that your toes don't fall out to the side. There you go. And I love it that half of you then look at your toes and say, what are my toes doing? Yeah, you had no idea. Good. One more breath. Stretch through the fingers, stretch through the whole arm, the whole side body. Beautiful. And then come all the way back up. Nice, you guys. And then stretch both legs straight out in front of you. Good. Flex the feet. Inhale the arms up. Paschimottanasana. Good. Lifting through your side ribs. Begin to bow forward. Reaching, reaching, reaching. And then allow your hands to find something. So if not your feet, could be your ankles, could be your shins, could be the floor. But have your hands on something. And then round your spine. So pull your belly back, pull your ribs back, press through the legs. So you're still pressing down through the thighs. You're still pressing back with your sit bones, but you're rounding. Good. Beautiful. And then slowly release, come all the way back up. Bend your knees, please. Plant your feet. Take your hands back behind you, fingers pointing towards your heels. Good. Feet are hip width apart. Bend the elbows just a little bit so that you can squeeze those upper arms, squeeze the muscles of the upper back, and then lift your hips up off the floor, press the arms to straight, reverse table. Good. So a super long spine, pressing through the feet. Hug your knees in just a little bit. Suzanne, knees in, that's it. Good. Beautiful, you guys. And then slowly release back down to your seat. Good. And roll yourself down onto your backs. Good. Bring the knees in towards your chest. Cross your right thigh on top of your left, right knee on top of left. Separate your feet, reach for your ankles. That's for those of you that were confused about this pose sitting up. Make sure that you get it. Good. Legitimately, it does feel easier and in many ways more relaxing to do it on your back. Good. You got it. Yeah, knee on top of knee, so thighs all the way together, Maria, on your back. Yep, and then lift the feet. You got it, and pull your feet wide. Yep. Good, you guys slowly release and switch. Take the other leg on top. Thighs all the way together, knees stacked. Separate the feet. Good, flex the feet. And you're giving yourself time, giving the position time to soften what it needs to soften. And that's meditation too. That's a whole yoga practice, spiritual practice, so that you give yourself time to undo or soften what has been built up out of habit. Because we don't change our thoughts in an instant. I mean, we can, but it doesn't, our habitual thinking doesn't change that quickly. So you give yourself time to experience what is beyond your mind and the wisdom, the presence that you were born to be. Good. Unwind the legs, please. Come into happy baby, drawing the knees wide, reaching for the ankles or the feet. Relaxing through the shoulders. Beautiful. Then hug the knees back in towards the chest. Good. Your choice of spinal twist here. So if the back is very cranky, I would keep the knees together, scoot your hips over to the left, drop your knees to the right with the knees stacked. But if you would like to instead cross the left thigh on top of the right, and same thing, scooting your hips over to the left, dropping the knees to the right with the legs wrapped. So wrapping like you would for eagle, another option. And if you want to do a one-legged twist, you can also do that, right? That would be left knee in towards your chest. Cross the body over to the right. Good. Nice. If you are doing that wrapped version of the twist, you got to make sure that you let that outer hip really come all the way over so that you're getting that internal rotation on that side. Good, Suzanne. Nice, you guys. Slowly release, come back to center. Twist the other way. So again, your choice of twist, but dropping the knees to the left. You can have the knees stacked on top of each other. You can wrap the right thigh on top of the left like you would for eagle. Good. Again, you're looking for the pelvic bones, your sacroiliac joints, the back of your pelvis to be level. It's what continues to create the release through the lower spine so that whatever has gotten compressed or stuck has the chance to become free. Good. And slowly bring yourself back to center, please. Nice, knees in towards your chest. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees, squeeze. And then slowly release, extending the legs straight out in front of you, arms alongside you, palms face up. Maybe come back to that visualization of the third eye and the point that is just above it. You breathe between the two of those points and just contemplate, right? Don't even try to imagine it because I don't think we can, but contemplate unfiltered love. Contemplate deep respect for what your life has been and continues to be. The fullness of it. Or contemplate nothing and just breathe. gently bring the awareness back to your breath, letting the body begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. And as you're ready, draw the knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. And take a moment there before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to that upright seated position. Bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm, or whatever mudra has been serving you well. And bring your attention one more time to that space of the third eye, and the point just above it. As though that point is just a little leaky faucet. It's dripping. It's like the ceiling is dripping here a little bit. But that point is dripping light, or it's dripping what's referred to as nectar. And that nectar is that unfiltered love and deep respect. So as that drips from the place of the third eye, it drips down into coat the mind. It drips down to coat your experience of your life, of your body, of yourself. So that that place becomes a place that is just flowing, that experience of unfiltered love, and it fills you. And there's nothing else to do with your life but to just let that fill you. Let it become the presence that you are. And then if that is the presence that you are, that will be in every action that you choose to take, whatever those actions are. But you become clear that the destiny, the fullness of your life doesn't come from what you're doing. It comes from this, the flow of that unfiltered love. That's the guru. A guru is not a teacher that tells you what you don't know. A guru is the experience of that realized unfiltered love. And you are that already. You just haven't noticed. So bring your attention there. Let that become your presence. The day you were born was an auspicious day. You are here to influence humanity, to influence the world in the way that only you can. So you flow that unfiltered love in the very unique way that is yours. But hold it for yourself first. We'll close with the sound of Om, deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your weekend till I see you again. You have to unmute yourself to say anything to me.
Thank you so much, Veronica.
You're welcome.
That was great. Thank you, Veronica.
You're welcome. You're welcome.